guys, welcome back to episode 9 of Give and Take with Tay. I'm with 3 very special guests today, guys. I'm with Anna, Taylor, and Geordie. Guys, how are you?
Great.
Yeah, really good.
Bit hungover, but we're here.
Yeah. Well, I don't drink often, but I can touch down on that. I had a big bowling event last night, the Kingpin Bowling at the parade, and yeah, shout out to that. If you haven't gone, go. You guys need
It
to.
looks so good.
It looks
so good.
Yeah, toys, raffles. Anyway, back to the podcast. So, guys, tell me a little bit about yourself so the audience can just know you guys, I guess. Yeah, Anna, start with you. What do you do?
Cool. Well, I'm Anna. I am currently studying to be a Pilates instructor. I've started working with you guys a little bit, and then I do some modelling on the side as well.
Oh, killing it. Yeah.
I'm Taylor, I'm 19 years old. I'm studying media and communications at uni. I've got a makeup business that just sort of took off in the last few months.
You don't say.
And,
It's so good, guys. She's amazing.
And yeah, I'm working at Priceline and I'm really excited to see what the Adelaide set can bring me.
Amazing. What about you, Geordie?
So I'm Geordie, I'm 20 years old. I'm studying marketing and communications at the moment. Also working full-time at Snap Wireless, managing their social media. And then I also run my own business on the side.
Oh, 3 boss ladies here. Jesus Christ. You guys all sound like very busy bees.
Yeah,
Not gonna
very
lie. But yeah, so I guess starting off today, I wanted this to be really chilled. You might notice, usually I'd have a laptop, but I just want to get to know you guys and just be chilled about this podcast, to be honest. So starting with current times. You're obviously, all of you are busy. You guys are, you've got your own beauty stuff going on, your businesses, all that kind of thing. What's something that you guys think that a lot of kids at the moment, I guess, they're not really sure what to kind of do or start? Because you were saying before that you've now stepped back from uni.
Yeah.
And I don't see that as a bad thing at all. I see that as a power move because now you've got more time to do stuff. Do you want to talk about why you've done that and what that looks like?
Yeah, so I was thinking about it for a long time. So I've always been interested in psychology and all that kind of thing. That's what I was studying at uni. And I've always wanted to help people through their mental health and all that kind of thing. But I also want to pursue modelling and social media and all of that kind of thing as well. And Pilates as well. I've always been passionate about it. I used to dance, so it was a good leeway into
What kind of dancing?
everything. Ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop, contemporary, all of
Are you going to get out now and do it?
No. No way.
It will be soon, guys. Don't worry.
But yeah, so I've always wanted to do that, but I think I started uni and it just wasn't fitting with me.
Yeah.
For the first, I only did a semester and a half, to be honest, and then I worked out it wasn't making me happy, and I was thinking about it and I was like, all of my modelling and social media, they have an expiry date. I have to do them when I'm young. Whereas I can go back to uni when I'm 40 and I've had the family, I've done my own career stuff.
That's such an interesting perspective. I've never heard of that before. Obviously, I get what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah.
But you've taken a bit of a look. This is who I am at the moment. This is my age. This is what I'm good at, because obviously you're in the TikTok scene.
Yeah.
Have a stars, guys. She's really good. And yeah, you're utilizing current times, right? And you've got to keep up with current times. And you've now sacrificed, but you haven't actually sacrificed, because you just said you can go back. You can always go back.
Yeah. And also uni at the moment, because of Corona and all that kind of thing, most of it's online anyway. And you're not really making friends and having the whole environment of uni at the moment either. So it wasn't really giving me much in life. So I thought, when all the pandemic's over, I've been successful as a model and on social media, then I can settle down and study and start helping others. Whereas when I'm young,
It's amazing.
can help
Wow,
myself.
you've got it all figured out. She's got it figured out, guys. So Taylor, focusing on the whole COVID sitch, I'm just leaning off from what you said. What did that teach you? What was that current time for you? what happened to you first of all? Did you have to like stop stuff? Like, what was your life then, and how have you now kind of led through?
So after school, I guess I was like, pretty into, I wasn't getting many shifts at work. I sort of had the makeup business like in the background, but I would travel to people because my family are in the hills, and that obviously nobody wanted to come out to me. I had to travel to them. And then apart from that, like I wasn't studying. And then obviously once COVID hit, I couldn't do makeups because nobody was obviously going anywhere.
You guys weren't a essential business. So hairdressers were allowed, but makeup artists weren't.
And there was I wasn't really at a point then where I could like claim anything on it or like do anything about that because it was just a sort of a side thing. And so I think it took that point in my life where I just didn't have much going on. Like I spent a lot of time with a specific friend and we just sort of did nothing. Like we just spent a lot of time together, essentially just having a lot of fun. But I think got to a point where I was like, no, I want to do something. Like got year 12 behind me, I got my makeup like certifications behind me, and and my family are in the hills, so I ended up moving to Glenelg because we've got my grandma's like apartment that she used to live in down there. And so then I moved there and then started uni, and then I was working with a makeup artist, and then grew my business, and then I got a transfer with work, and it's all just been good.
So rewind. You spent a lot of time with your friend, having a good time, all that kind of thing, just doing all this cool stuff. And then you're kind of like, crap, I need to do something. Like, who am I? Right? I
needed to have that bit to find that motivation again, I think, because year 12 like just drained it out of me and all of that, and I just wanted to do something that I enjoyed. And
did you take a gap year?
So I had 6 months off. I started uni mid-year. So I had those 6 months that I just got to do well. Couldn't travel, couldn't really do anything.
Because that's the thing, like I got to travel. I finished in 2018. I travelled in 2019. But for all those kids that had the gap year, oh my God, I would be be bored. But if you had tickets and plans booked in place, it would be so upsetting to cancel,
I think that's the thing. So I sort of didn't have any plans, but then everything just came up and took it all on, said yes to everything. And that's pretty, it's worked out. So
you've said something really interesting just then, saying yes to everything. Like, I like that. That's good. That's a good thing to have, because despite, the current time or anything, then you're doing stuff, right? You're doing stuff, and if you like it or don't like it, you're always learning. Well, Geordie, focusing on you, Miss CEO, tell me about your business, because despite COVID and all that kind of thing, you've got a really cool business, which I think it'd be cool to talk about. How did you get into that?
So pretty much when I finished school, I went straight into nursing. That's another thing I wanted to kind of touch on. I feel like when I was in year 12, lots of teachers and stuff pushed getting getting a nursing job or being a doctor or being a dentist or being a teacher or doing stuff like that. It wasn't like, have your own business, be an entrepreneur, like take a gap year. So I went straight into nursing. My grandma was a nurse, so she kind of inspired me to do that. I thought it'd be really cool. And I did that for a year, and honestly, like, I hated it. I was actually so depressed. I was really struggling, like, going to my placements and then coming home and forgetting about stuff. And I would find that I was bringing my work home, which was really making my mental health, like, it was very cloudy for me, a very cloudy, foggy time. So I took a break from that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back, but I thought it would be a really good idea to have a gap year, because I feel like I almost like burnt myself out as well. I worked really hard in year 12 and then I just went straight into nursing, and I don't think that was a good idea either, because I was just so burnt out and I wasn't really interested in it either. So
do you have to be like a kind of character to work in nursing? Like, because I've not a part of that environment. I didn't get into that stuff. I've got a few friends who are. Do you have to have certain qualities to become a nurse?
Honestly, people would always say you have to be a type of person when I was doing nursing to be a nurse. And I was like, you don't know. But now looking back, like, you definitely do. Obviously, like, you need to be a nice person. But also,
I don't want to take your Band-Aid off.
But also you need to have those, you need to be really strict on your study. So it was like I really underestimated the like biology and all of those subjects that actually go into nursing.
Yeah.
And you just need to kind of like get it. And
Yeah.
I literally dropped out of biology in year 12. So I was like, why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this?
But yeah, you do need to have those really good qualities and like be a really strong person. I think I'm a really strong person to an extent. But yeah, as I said before, like I was struggling like bringing like my workload home, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like not that I would be doing physical stuff, obviously, but like just thinking about patients and being like, are they okay? Like not being able to switch off.
Yes.
Which is like so important. Like for me, I like having work and then being at home and having some like time.
Yeah,
out.
like just a different like reality in a sense. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
So how did that trampoline you into your business?
That's a really good question. So I had my gap year. I wasn't doing anything. I was literally working at Baker's Delight like 5 days a week.
Shout out Baker's Delight.
Eating lots of bread at home and like just I had no motivation. Like I was going to the gym and stuff, but I wasn't doing anything on the side. And then I saw this guy, he posted about doing like e-commerce business and I was like, that's really cool. And then pretty much I just started brainstorming trending products and stuff. There was lots of like little ring lights. With COVID and stuff, everyone was working from home. They needed ring lights. And I've got a ring light at home and it was so expensive to buy. So I was like, I really want to have a product that is affordable for people as well, but like really good quality. So yeah, then Glow Light was created.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how's the business going? Like,
yeah, it's really good. Honestly, I feel like at the moment I've put it to the side a little bit. Because I've just started my full-time job. Well, not just started, like 4 months ago.
Yes.
But this year, and I've never worked a full-time job. So I want to like be putting 120% into that.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's I've kind of taken a step back from Glow Light, but it's definitely something I want to create bigger this year in the near future. Yeah.
Well, speaking about lights, sorry guys. So like I forgot my ring light. Usually we have like a big one, a big bright one at the back, but Anna has saved the day with her ring light. So it's a bit of a ring light kind of day.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, well moving forward, Anna, so you were touching on, tell me about your childhood. You said that you used to do dancing and things like that.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? Were you originally from Adelaide or?
Yeah, well, I was born in England, and I moved over here when I was 8 months old because my parents split up when I was born, and like they were living in England together because my dad's British. So we moved back here for mum to be with family, and then since then it's just been me and her in Adelaide. And so I tried out many sports like throughout high school and primary school, and then I found my way into dance, and that just kind of stuck. And then I think it was year 11 I had like a bad year.
What's a bad year?
It was, I think my whole life I've been bottling all of my emotions, all my personality inside of me, and I just kind of like snapped.
Yeah.
And
that's okay, it happens.
Yeah, I kind of some things happened at school with some friends, and then family stuff wasn't fitting with me because I came from a very Christian family, and like I have nothing against it, and I still have a faith and all that, but the way that they wanted me to live, it wasn't fitting with me, so that kind of made me snap, and I kind of went bad girl for me at 16.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then so I quit dance, I quit like everything I was doing before that, and then I haven't actually done it for a few years now. I did it again a few months ago.
Did you like it?
I did, but the studio just didn't fit for me. It was in the wrong location, so I had to stop that because it didn't fit with work and all of that. But and then I just started Pilates again recently and fell in love with it again. And
so you like being active.
I'm
like,
a very
you're a
active,
bit of an active person. Yeah.
I don't like going a day without at least going for an hour walk.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
But yeah, so I love yoga, I love Pilates. I used to go to the gym heaps, like lifting heavy weights, but I ended up stopping that because I was having some health issues. With like eating and body image and all that, got kind of quite consuming. So I stopped that and been recovering, and went back into yoga and Pilates.
So I relate to you on a lot of levels, to be honest. I didn't know a few of these things, so it's interesting to hear. So with me personally, like when I was in like 2016, for me, I was 16. Like I went through a similar thing. I grew up in athletics, running, high jump. I loved like one-person sports, if that makes sense. Like I still enjoy team sports. Like I played netball for years, But for me, athletics was like my thing. And I did really, really well and all that kind of stuff, right? And then for some reason, when I was 16, I snapped as well a bit. Like I had a bit of a like toxic relationship, all that kind of thing, like school, like anything like a normal teenage girl would be going through kind of at 16, you know, all the general stuff. And I relate to you because I stopped my sport. Like I stopped everything that I enjoyed because of, I don't even know. Like you just stop, right? And I think it's really interesting that you bring that up now, because for those people listening who may have recently stopped something, or maybe they've stopped something a few years ago, it's good because people can go, wait a minute, I used to do this, I used to enjoy it. Why did I really stop? So I think that's really interesting that you brought that up.
Yeah, but it did take a few years to almost like repair my relationship with that part of myself. I could not go back to dance for so many years. Like the thought of it would just make me feel sick. Like it just wasn't good, and it took me a long time to repair that. But yeah, I think I'm finally ready to like get back into
Hell
that
yeah.
kind of thing.
That's it, guys. That's it. The Swan Lake is coming to you live.
Ballerina time.
Yes. So Taylor, speaking about finally getting that motivation, for you, what was your journey like growing up and finding your motivation? Because you highlighted before, like you weren't doing much for a while. And what was your story?
I think because, I was doing school and I was sort of like, I enjoyed school, but like not to a certain extent. I sort of was just there to, you know, learn and then go home. I wasn't really that into it. But then I think starting the makeup business really like pushed me out of my comfort zone, because I was, you know, grew up in a small town, progressed like
Where?
So Leon Creek.
Where's that?
Strathalbyn.
You grew up in Strathalbyn?
15 minutes out of Strathalbyn.
Wow, so you're like a full country girl.
Yeah, my family have a vineyard.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
They have a vineyard? This is sick. So what? Oh, okay,
Yeah, so yes, grew up like on a farm.
Yeah.
But now I'm my mum was always a city girl, but then she met my dad. And now I'm definitely a city girl. I can't say that I belong on the farm, but it was, you know, beautiful, obviously, landscape, vineyards, everything like that. Good childhood, yeah. And I think like, pushing myself out from being in the smaller, like in the hills, and then going to the makeup course because I had to go down twice a week to the city. So that was really good. I met some new people, some different people, not in that sort of small environment where everyone knows everyone and everyone knows everyone's business. And I think that really like sort of opened my horizons up to what I could sort of do, and what I'd want to do, you know, like career-wise, and like I loved the makeups, and I think that was good to just push myself outside of school and family, and
I think it's interesting that you said that too, because like, man, I'm connected, man. This is sick. Like because I grew up in the country too, so I grew up in like two wells. So like real north, so like no hills, just flat dirt, nothing. And it was a great childhood. Like I loved it because you just go outside to play. I had 3 younger brothers, so it was just like war every day, you know, and it was fun. And I think, and for me, I'm definitely a city girl, because like it's comes to a point where like there's just nothing out there for me. And it's not a bad thing. Like you love people out there. People out there are so genuine. And I respect the work class and what they provide for their families. But for me, like I had to go to the city too, so I get it.
It was nice to grow up like surrounded by, it's nice to go home, but you know, more opportunities, like and my parents understand that and they're fully supportive of that, so I'm pretty like grateful for that.
That's so good. Well, thinking about support, Geordie, in terms of your stability and all that kind of thing, like you were still at home, like what was your relationship with your parents and what was growing up in the house like?
So my parents got divorced when I was in year 8. So I grew up in a very supportive, happy family until then, and no, I still do. And then that was it. My life was over when I was 8. So my dad moved out when I was in year 8. He moved into Marriottville, into a little unit there. It was really cute. But anyway, even though my parents are separated, they have like a very good relationship. My sister was quite young when that happened, so I think they kind of did that for her and for me. But apart from that, I've got a super supportive family. I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years, so I rely on him a lot. I rely on him a lot for support and stuff, and he's like my best friend. So honestly, are working on the business at the moment together as well. So I felt like that brought us closer together as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We kind of bonded on it.
Yeah.
So I've grown up with a very supportive family, and I'll be forever grateful for that.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I can connect with you too. This is so cool. Shots fired. Like, wow. So yeah, having that stability. Yeah, my parents, they weren't together as well growing up. But it was good because, you know, you've got grandparents on both sides, and if they're here, of course.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like you've got like 6 grandparents and parents in a sense. So it's good. It's good that you've got that.
Yeah.
Because some people, they might not, you know, and being a single parent and going through all those kind of things and hardships, like, it would be quite difficult. So the fact that your parents could work together for you guys, even though the reality was they're not together, it's good. Like, you can clearly see that, and you've now learnt those skills.
Yeah.
And you're happy in a really secure relationship, which you guys are now working on a business. What's that like working with him?
Sometimes annoying. I think being a Gemini, I'm like quite bossy. I just say things. I'm very straight to the point. I want things done my way. But I think we do like collaborate a lot as well. I think he's like a very calm person. I'm very just like all over the shop. Which I think it's so good because we even each other out.
I get it. Yeah.
Which is really good, and that's we need to like work together for the business to even each other out, if that makes sense.
Definitely, it's kind of like you need to have the romance and the love side going. But you also need the business and the work done. So instead of like, you can't just have one more than the other, you have to go hard in both. Or otherwise one of them will be lacking and someone on the other side will be like, "Arr," and the other one will be like, "Arr," and then it's just like, I understand. So okay, we're moving forward. So Anna, talking about all the stuff that we've been talking about, from, you know, you slowly taking moves back into dancing, all this kind of thing, what do you think, like focusing on current times, Adelaide, what do you think is the most fun aspects of Adelaide? Like, what do you as a youth love about Adelaide? What it provides? Like, tell me about the place you live in. It's a good question. She's like, I hate this place, I don't love it enough. I'm joking. What do you love about it? You're fine, it's okay.
What do you think?
Do you love like, are you like into, because you're saying you love being outside and doing stuff. Do you reckon,
I'll go with that.
Like do you like what Adelaide provides in terms of like parks and stuff, beaches?
Well, where I live is like right in the middle of it's like 20-minute drive to the beach, or it's a 20-minute drive to the hills. So I have a puppy and she needs to be walked at least once or twice a day. So we either go like to the beach or to the hills for walks and runs and all that kind of thing. And I think that's a really nice thing about Adelaide, is that it has beaches, like so many beaches nearby, and they're gorgeous. And then you've also got the beautiful Adelaide Hills, and it's not far of a drive to get a completely different landscape and feel. Like, if one day you feel like you need to escape, you just drive an hour somewhere and you'll be in a different place. And then I guess getting around Adelaide isn't that hard, and there's some nice places, like really nice restaurants, really good food. So there's not really much to complain about.
We kind of have everything, don't we, in a sense?
We do.
Like from...
It's quite a safe city as well.
Like do you guys have favourite restaurants or anything like that? Like places that you like to eat?
I like going to Henley.
Henley's
like Seymour's,
so
Melt, all along there.
Shout out Salty Sips.
Loving that.
It's so fun. Like just touching on that, for those that don't know, every Wednesday morning a bunch of girls came together and created a really awesome idea of going for a swim and having coffee. And ever since then, it started out like a tiny group, and there's just like hundreds of people now. Like there was like 500, 450 people last time, and it's just getting increasingly better.
I like things spread quickly as well. Like, you know, you start from a small community, word of mouth gets things going, and everyone's, you know, invited. You know, everyone's available to come from wherever they are. And
it's very family. Like, despite if you're the country or your city, and because we have such a variety of a lot of multiculturalism just everywhere, from whether it be cafes, restaurants, or even landscape, from the hills, beach, sun, sand, snow. it snows. Whereabouts does it snow sometimes here?
Mount Lofty.
Mount Lofty it snows, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like has
Mount Lofty,
I've never seen snow.
yeah, no.
in winter
I don't
time.
think it doesn't snow.
No, but you can
Yeah, it
get
does,
a little
yeah.
bit. Yeah, you can get good photos.
Yeah.
I think my godmother went one year and it was beautiful. And like, highlighting what you were saying about, you know, it's not too big, but it's big enough to see everything.
Yeah.
You know, you were saying that your family owns a vineyard or that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out there. Like,
What's
there's
it like?
so much space. It's just like, it's pretty flat there. So we're not in the hills. We're, you know, obviously further out in Mayon Creek, like wineries and vineyards and stuff. So yeah, Dad sells his grapes to different companies and stuff. Yeah, it's beautiful. Like, it's nice to grow up around that. Like, a vineyard's right in front of my window, like right in front of it. So yeah, it's nice.
What was it like growing up with a vineyard? Like, can you tell me about the lifestyle and the process? Because they're really respected here in you know, South Australia and
having and everything like that. Dad spent most of his life, obviously he grew up just down the road from the house, so he hasn't he doesn't go to this, like, I don't remember the last time he's gone to the city. He just, but then
That's
my
so
mum,
cool. He
mum-
just loves his
he
vineyards.
just loves, wake up, work, you know, same thing, repeat every day. But he loves it, you know, like, it's what he's grown up knowing and it's what he's done his whole life. So yeah, and I think
What do you love about it?
I mean, well, I just like his drive for what he does is good, and it motivates me to sort of see. Like, obviously, there are a lot of hard, you know, like he's had his dad die and then taking over that business, and then his uncle and everything that's come with that sort of like a divorce, and then on my uncle's side, and you know, obviously there's, you know, but at the end of the day, he gets to see what he's made around him. He gets to wake up and see that this is what he's got and what he's made for himself, what he's created. And
so
I think that's
amazing.
That's great. So yeah, apart from like everything, because he's, you know, he's so like a go-getter for his life, like he loves his life and what he does. And despite what that's come with, he's just done it anyway. And you kind of keep going. And when you look back, despite what happens, at least your actions have been there and you've been able to create this beautiful business.
And Mum and my sister, because I've only got a sister, so it's just the two of us girls. So obviously don't know what's going to happen, who's it going to
go to? Do you like picking grapes?
My sister gets out there. She doesn't have the nails, so so she can go out there and she loves all of that. And
so tell me about your sister then, because you both grew up on a vineyard. So you're obviously, you know, you're into fashion, makeup, and the city life. What's your sister like?
She's pretty like, you know, straight A. She's got her academic down pat. She does ballet. So she's pretty straight, but she loves the farm. Like, just does it all really. Like, we and her are really close. So she'll probably eventually move with me out, because I'm just by myself at the moment. But so I think, no, she's still good. She's still doing year 12 at the moment.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good. I'm just picturing like you guys just like growing up on this like beautiful little vineyard. And you know, I think it's a beautiful thing, because especially family businesses, and you get to obviously see your parents grow and growing up as a kid, you know, and seeing them go through what they have to go through, but them still providing. It's just such a strong work ethic.
You have your good years, bad years.
That's amazing. Well, focusing on more stuff in terms of like Adelaide in general, what do you love most about Adelaide, Geordie?
Like Anna said, I love how you can drive 20 minutes and be at the beach, or drive 20 minutes and be in Adelaide Hills. And there's also that real sense of community as well. And like we touched upon before, word of mouth, like events, stuff like that, community gatherings, it spreads so quickly. And it just really enforces that sense of community in Adelaide, which I feel like other places like Melbourne and stuff like Sydney even lack a bit.
Very different, Like I've been to Sydney and Melbourne heaps and stuff, and you go there and it's massive. Like there's like Adelaide's like, for Melbourne there's like 20 different Adelaides. I mean, it's just, it feels massive to me. And it's great for like shopping and exploring and doing all that stuff, but I couldn't live there because I love the community aspect that Adelaide does have. And it's not saying that Melbourne's bad or anything like that. It's just like it's different. And here it's good because I guess if you want room to breathe, you can breathe. And touching on what you said about community, with that, what do you think within Adelaide communities, like mini communities, what kind of communities do you I guess, kind of value? Like, what do you think's really important of the Adelaide communities?
I think definitely seeing young people get out there, like Salty Sips, young people organising these events, because young people are the next generation. And yeah, it's really refreshing as well to see people working hard, going, I want to do this, let's do it.
And just that action there, wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about let's do it, getting back into dancing, I just wanted you to get up and like show me some moves.
No.
So in spite of, I guess, like, because you're highlighting to me that, you know, you've loved a bit of sport, fashion, you're a little bit of an all-rounder in a sense.
Yeah.
What about the music scene? Like, you know, we were all out last night, let's be real, except for you, Geordie. You were a good girl. What kind of music do you love, and how does that tie into, I guess, Adelaide?
Oh.
You can just go for music if you love, if you want.
Well, music, I am an all-rounder in music as well. I love old music, new music, pop, rap, country. Like, I have no like specific type of music that I love. Like, if I like the song, I like the song.
You just go on her phone on her playlist and go straight from like Taylor Swift to like country, like
You're not wrong. Like, I will have like some, I don't know, like Tupac, and then like Taylor Swift, and then like some One Direction, and then go back to this like band that no one knows. Like,
It's so good.
um,
And what about the music scene here? Like, where do you like to go, and what do you like doing?
well, if I go out to town, I love going to Jive, because that's like, they have like ABBA nights and like 80s nights. It's such a vibe. And I feel like you can dance like so much better to that kind of music, rather than like the like
I can't stand the.
it's like all you can do is like jump with that kind of music, and it's like good if you're like really off your face.
If you're really like, wee,
Yeah,
I've had one
but-
too many, let's go.
But if you're like tipsy and you want to have a good time, and you still want to be able to remember like having a good time, I feel like Jive like is a really nice place, and there's not many creepy people there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like some places I've been, like you walk through and like you get touched.
It's great.
Like just by everyone.
Yeah.
But then Jive, I've never had an issue there. Like the people that work there, they're so nice. They remember you when you come in, and it's a really small venue. They do live music before they open into the club. So they do live music up until 11:30, and then they switch into a club. So each Saturday and Friday night they have a new band in, and they're all local and they're all Australian, and
That's amazing.
it's really nice. But they're really struggling at the moment as well, because COVID really took them hard. So I'm really trying to like help them out with that as well.
That's
So,
great. Well,
yeah.
look at that, bang! You're doing cool things. I think I think it's really important, especially to have like a nice, respectable venue, because not only do you want yourself to be safe, however, you still want to have a good time, you know. And when you are having a good time, most of the time it's because, you know, the service is nice, the venue suits you, you enjoy the music. And I think Adelaide, because there's so many different kinds of people, there's so many different places that can provide that. And like you said yourself, like you love this place because it's playing really good music which you can dance to and enjoy yourself. But you don't have to be in a club that's, you know, bumper to bumper, everyone's just stomping up and down, and there's like I love bangers, but I get what you're saying. Like you can't really enjoy that human experience because everyone's just like buzzing around, and if you enjoy that stuff, cool, but I really like that.
Again, like when we're talking about communities and stuff, it is a community there, and I like that. And like it's the only club that I've been to where I felt safe to go to the bathroom alone. Like I can go from the dance floor to the bathroom alone and not stress about someone like abducting me or something. And like I feel like it's really refreshing there, which is why I like going there. I mean, I don't go to town very often. It's not really my scene, but if I do go out, I definitely go there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, touching on that freshness, Taylor, speaking about I guess music in a sense, and I guess supporting local people, what, coming from I guess more of a country kind of lifestyle, what do you think are really important values that maybe a lot of city slickers might not have, which country people can teach them, like that kind of experience of community?
I think like mindfulness and obviously taking the time you need for yourself, like to just breathe and like get outside your head sort of thing. Like just do what you want to do and like not have to force yourself to think about anything. Just, you know, have some peace of mind. Or I think that's easy to do, like Anna was saying, Adelaide, like obviously the hills are there, the beach is there, and the city's right there. So, you know, whether you feel like doing, you know, any of those things, you sort of have that right available to you. But I think like I spend like, because I live by myself, I find I'm best when I'm sort of alone and have some time to think, and as long as I've got everything I've wanted to do done, then I've sort of, can be the best person, I guess, for my family and friends and stuff like that. But yeah, Adelaide's got a great, sort of nightlife, and it is what you make of it. Like obviously, I've been to lots of different, like last night I went to many different places, but I've been more into like bars lately, because it is a bit more like,
you can speak.
Intimate.
Yeah, it's a bit more intimate, and like it's just nice to get like a good drink rather than just shots and stuff like that. But,
you can just take it easy and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Listen to the music, and you know, if someone's around you or group of people, you can hear each other.
Yeah.
You can have a really good time.
Yeah. Highlight of mine that was seeing the clients that I've done, and then just seeing them out.
And just seeing them out, it's like,
and they're like, oh, you're looking so good, like, get to see the whole outfit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like, I love that. Like, when I've been in that situation before where I've got my face done and I've had like lots of events, and then I end up seeing the girl out as well, and it's just like, here we are. Well, touching on mindfulness, Geordie, leaning from what Taylor said, do you think, what do you think are a lot of, I guess, problematic issues that are around today in Adelaide? Like, keeping it real general, do you think a lot of people are self-destructing themselves, or do you think it's coming from outer sources? Like, what's your opinion of that?
That's a really good question. I feel like generally, body image and social media comes to mind as a big issue. I know lots of girls and boys do face. Seeing all these influencers looking amazing all the time when really you just see what they post on Instagram, stuff like that. I feel like is a big issue nowadays. Trying to take that time off your phone, having a social media detox is a really good idea. Something I think I need to do as well. You really need to try and implement that. Even not going on your phone like an hour before bed. Stuff like that, like reading a book or just like journaling, stuff like that is a really good idea.
Well, I had to answer a really hard question the other day, and that was just a part of my event that I was in, and the question was, what do you think, like the question was, it was kind of like, do you think technology has impacted today's youth, and like how? Like it was a little bit like that, I forgot how it was worded, but, and it was difficult because you got to think about it, because technology is a big part of today in terms of business, making connections, client, like it's just everywhere. And obviously you can't run away from it. You can't function, I guess, without it in a sense. I don't know anyone that is functioning without it. And if they are, please tell me how. But so you're talking about that time alone, off the phone. Like even if it's 15, 20 minutes, an hour, you kind of kill time in a sense. And you're highlighting, you know, the social media sphere of, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, that kind of stuff, where you're constantly seeing people, pretty people. And I guess you start to kind of put yourself in a bit of a cage, you start limiting yourself, and you start questioning yourself. And that's kind of a vibe you're giving me.
Yeah, definitely. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they said it's actually a good thing to be bored. And that really resonated with me, because I realized like I haven't been bored in so long, because you're just like on the go doing stuff all the time. And you know, it's good to be bored, because that's when you think of your best ideas. So I love that quote. That's like a quote I'm trying to live by as well, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes.
Wow. Well, touching on the board, I guess I like that. It's a funny word, because when you have those conversations with people, because I come across like all kinds of people all the time, and when I'm talking to someone and they have that a bit of a negative attitude, it's fine, but they're like, oh, I'm bored or this or that, and it's like, well, I find that like a bit of a ground level. You're on the ground. Like you know, you look at your surroundings. What am I currently doing? What am I wearing? Where am I? You start answering those questions. So instead of hurting yourself, I guess the polarity of that is you'd be like, oh, my hair, my face, my whatever people deal with or whatever they latch onto, I guess, because they're constantly looking at stuff, right? I think the question is, you know, what should I do? How can I improve this moment right now?
Yeah.
How should I maybe go see this person in my life who's good at this stuff, or maybe I should pick up a book. I think it's just the kind of questions we ask ourselves. It's kind of like that whole, do you see the glass half empty or half full?
Yeah.
So if you're on one side or the other, it doesn't mean it's wrong or bad. It means you just have to kind of switch bit.
Yeah.
And however that looks like. Anna, do you think there's any suggestions or do you have any tips that can bring people from that point of view? Like, I guess that negative kind of mindset of I can't do this or I don't look right, or how do you kind of get out of that, I guess, for yourself?
Well, for myself, I've only really started to work on that stuff probably just over a year. Like, I'm pretty new to trying to sort all that kind of thing out because I'm quite a self-conscious person. I have lots of insecurities that I've never really let myself accept, I guess. So it takes a lot to work through that. And what I found is, look, it sounds cliche, but therapists, they can really help. If you're at a point where you just don't know what to do or you need to talk to someone who's not in your life, I feel like sometimes there's so many people around you can talk to because you're really close to them and you trust them, but they're too much in your life that you feel like they have some sort of bias towards your life, and you just need to let it all out to a stranger who doesn't know where you've come from, doesn't know the people in your life, and can just, like, they don't even have to give you advice, you just let it out. And I feel like that helps. And then something I've also like implemented into my life is like I've started yoga. But when I do that, because I just put on YouTube, like, easy.
I'm the same. Nighttime yoga, just put it on 10 minutes.
But like, I just put my phone in another room. Like, it's just me, yoga. I put on some incense, like, just to calm my nerves. Like, the smells, like, really just calm you down, and you just sit there and breathe. Dim the lights, just you, yourself, and your body, your breath, and you, like, try your best not to think about anything else you have to do, because most of the stuff you have to do does come back to your phone or media, because you have people telling you that you need to be here, you need to be there.
Yes, all this, that, this,
like, talking to you about stuff. And if you put that away in a separate room, you can't hear it buzzing, you can't hear it do anything. It's just you, yourself, and like you in the present moment. And I feel like that really helps.
Wow, you've said a lot of cool things just then. That's groovy. It's good because like I relate. Like, I do yoga, nighttime yoga, just kind of like wind down. I haven't done it within the last, I guess, 5 days. It's been like a week. But I do it as often as I can. And because since working within social media, big part of my life, I don't struggle with it because it's just the job, but that allows me to, when it's, you know, I don't just sit there and go on my phone anymore, because I'm always on it working, which means that allows me to, when it is my wind down time or that stillness time, to just relax, you know, think about your thoughts, reset in a sense, you know, you're back on the ground level, the smells, the incense, the yoga, you actively doing something, it's for you, it's a gift from you to you. And I guess that kind of acts as, you know, it's a stabilizer. You can then value what's going on in your life, and then you can embrace every single moment, and you can just experience it.
And in saying that, you don't have to do yoga. Like, if
you're
going
anything
for a walk and you put your phone on airplane mode, or like, you could literally sit on your bed for 15 minutes, just sit there with yourself, like, read a book, have a tea. People will go to the gym for that. They just put their headphones in, listen to their favorite music, like, smash out a workout.
It's a good way to go.
Whatever you want to do, just like take that time and just focus on you for like a certain amount of time. It doesn't have to be an hour, but just you for that set amount of time. I feel like that really helps.
Definitely. Well, switching it up a bit, Taylor, like, what do you, speaking about wind down time, I mean, you are in the makeup industry, you're a makeup artist, you're there to bring beauty to people's lives and for them to feel good. You know, what is your line between helping someone look beautiful, feel good, you know, you're experiencing this beautiful moment with a person. What's the line for you where, I guess, you might have a client coming in, or despite that, do you have a boundary of when you're just doing it for the pure purpose of creating and enjoying and making it feel beautiful? But then where's the line of the toxicity? Like, do you, when you get different kind of people in, I guess they might not like their eyebrows, or maybe they're very insecure and they're talking about the stuff they don't like about themselves.
Yeah.
What do you do, and what's your boundary of that?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that kind of stuff?
I think like an important thing about these days is obviously there's so much on social media, and there's so much like, everyone sort of has a very specific look, like if you're an Instagram person or people that you see on there. And I think, like obviously like I get a lot of girls come in and they'll show me like specific photos, and I think I've had like the same photo, numerous times, and these girls are all, it's always models that they show me and stuff like that. But I sort of believe that like everyone can be, like I sort of like to pick on what I like the most about like their natural beauty and just enhance that as much as you can, because obviously everyone's got different parts of their face that they don't like, and that like obviously their favourite features and stuff like that. I think it's just bringing those out really just obviously makes them feel good about themselves. And I feel like with anything, like, people can, I've got the ability to just be able to do that myself, like do my own hair, my own makeup, but I feel like anyone can do it. Like anyone can be that state of, looking good, like
effort.
And like I think like that's something to consider. Like obviously seeing these people on Instagram and stuff like that. I did a presentation earlier in the week at uni on body image and social media. And seeing these people like that you see on Instagram, you've got to take into account what goes behind it. They have filters, they have makeup, they have face tune, they have lighting, they have
so much.
everything.
Yeah.
And I think people, like you've got to keep in mind that these people have those things in the background, and these people have all of those, advantages that a lot of average, everyday girls don't have.
Yeah.
So it is important to consider that fact, and I think that's getting more and more talked about now, but it was definitely a part where it wasn't, people
for ages
denying,
it wasn't,
kind of like with lip filler or, stuff like that, like surgery and stuff like that. It's obviously, people deny it and stuff like that. So it makes it hard to set these like unrealistic standards that people are just trying to achieve, but they can't get there.
That's very interesting. That was an answer. Like I definitely feel like for a while, like you go on Instagram or when you're on there and you see a beautiful person, you're like, wow, I love that makeup. You might save it and go, I'm gonna try that on myself, or you might go, I want that done for my cousin's 21st or something. Yeah. But and like you said something where you've seen the same photo a million times, and that kind of puts it into perspective. It's like, wait a minute, like let's think about it. You've got this a big bunch of this demographic women coming in. They want this kind of look because X, Y, Z. All the reasons of what make up that photo, and these girls are coming in and they're beating themselves up because they don't have it. Yeah. When in reality, it's like 50 things to make it look like that. Yeah. And if those girls understood that and really embraced that, I guess they wouldn't be as harsh on themselves. Yeah. And they would, I guess, maybe take a new turn, a new outlook. Yeah. Like it is what it is. That person's beautiful. You can't say that they're not. No. Yeah. But to you to disvalue yourself because of another person's beauty, I guess that's where the line is. Like you shouldn't feel that way. Yeah.
And also I feel like Instagram is literally a highlight reel. Yeah. Like generally people only post photos that they look super good in. It's like the photos I post, I do not look like that every day. Yeah. Like that would be a struggle to look like that every day. Yeah. It's just like, I feel like it's unrealistic. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, talking about unrealistic, it's like when you want to have a nice photo. We as a girl, my perspective, like I enjoy having a beautiful photo in a moment, whether it be your birthday or an event or anything like that. And I do, sometimes I catch myself doing it. I might be in an event or something, right? And when you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I haven't got a photo yet. I need to get a photo right now. Why isn't there, where's the cameraman right now? There's 5 cameramen here. Why are they helping me? Or, when you start asking yourself that, or you think about the timeliness, it might be a Monday, right? And you're beating yourself up because you didn't get a photo on the weekend. Yeah. And you want that real Monday post. Yeah. Get rid of that attitude because it's just you're wasting your time because you not only are you making yourself feel not good enough, but I think it's just a waste of time. Like, you get a photo when it's time, you know, but don't beat yourself up because you don't have one. And that's what I struggle with.
Yeah.
Do you guys get like that
my
sometimes?
friends definitely, their patience has had it, I think. But sort of now I'll take time to sort of like, I don't know, prepare myself or take my own photos. Like my sister's like had enough, my best friend, she's had enough. And it obviously gets to a point that I just like see them and I'm like, oh my God, you look so good right now. Like, can I take a photo of you? Like I guess I'm just obsessed with it because it's what I do with makeup. So I'm like, no, I need to take, you know, I need to spend time to capture this person in the most, you know, the perfect way that I see them, you know?
Yeah.
So I think like, it's sort of like,
it's motivating.
I like taking a photo and like, but obviously there are other negatives behind it where you shouldn't always have to set those unrealistic expectations for yourself.
Definitely, like you get upset. Like I used to get upset that I didn't have a photo. And I would see and it's only because you're seeing everyone else post. So because you're seeing everyone else post, you're like, I need to post. And I think that's it's not stupid, but you shouldn't allow that to happen to you because I think you're not valuing much of yourself and it's a tiny little thing that barely implements your life. You know, and touching on this, I think this is a really cool way to kind of like wrap things up as we go. But, you know, social media, it's the way to go now. It, like myself, like a lot has come out of it. I cannot say it hasn't, especially with presenting if you're in radio or if you're a model or if you're a dancer. You know, it's good to, you have to be artistic and you have to get that shot and you want to get that shot that represents you, that speaks of you, that brings out your personality, your shine. And there's all this positivity with it, but it's when the negative stuff comes in and it's always from yourself to yourself. And I think a really good thing about you guys highlighting that with all your, you know, you guys are all killing it online. You know, you have mini businesses, you've got your makeup and, you know, TikTok and all of these kind of big factors that can lead you into amazing places today. So focusing on that in your Instagrams, like Geordie in particular, with yours and your work, do you believe that is a very important thing for your work and who you are right now? Like what's the positive impacts of that with you?
I feel like the people that follow me really align with my values and what I'm passionate about. So I'm a huge advocate for animals and I love animals. So even pushing petitions that I sign and that I want people to sign, stuff like that, social media can be so powerful in that aspect.
That's great. Wow, what an answer. Anna, what about you? So with touching on that kind of stuff in terms of your modeling and having that perspective of being, you know, a youth and in that industry, how has Instagram and social media kind of complemented that positively for you?
Me personally, getting into modeling and social media as more of a career move has actually really positively impacted my life. I think when I was doing it just like personally, I was really judging myself for it because I was comparing myself to all the models and all of the Instagram influencers and all that. And then once I started working in the industry, like you get firsthand of what goes on behind the scenes. And then at first I was just so excited. I was posting all of my shoots on my Instagram and I was loving it. Like everyone was like, oh, you look amazing. And then, but I'd be sitting there like with no makeup on and a hoodie and trackies and just like, everyone's telling me I look amazing when I'm all done up and when I've like been slightly edited and all that kind of thing. But it was actually quite empowering for me because it gave me a chance to post those photos and then also explain what was going on with me in that photo. So I'd made a few posts, like posting my favorite shoot photos and then talking about why they were my favorites, but then also talking about what I was actually going through when these photos were taken.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I had one shoot, it was like a photo I had like always dreamed of myself having. And but I was sitting there like the photo was, I looked toned, like my abs were showing. Like,
I looked beautiful.
It was amazing. I was so happy with it. But I was sitting there and I was, at that time when I posted it, struggling with some gut problems. And I was sitting there looking like I was pregnant because I was having so many issues. And so I posted that photo And then I posted a slide of all the times my stomach has like looked different ways.
Yes.
Because it is
yeah.
so like your body fluctuates so much. And I made a like long paragraph talking about it all, and like, this is what you see, this is what I post, this is from a shoot. Amazing, I love it. But this is also me.
Yeah.
And I love that part of social media, and now that I'm confident enough to do that, I think I get so many messages from girls, from guys, from others, just talking about how much my post influenced them, and like thank you for like talking about behind the scenes of all those perfect photos, and talking about your struggles, because I never thought my Instagram was amazing, but people would tell me and they're like, I never thought you had any issues.
Yeah.
Because your photos were too like amazing, and you're so pretty, and
That's so cool that you say that. Like because I follow a few accounts of these girls who all of their stuff are beautiful. Like you look at the feed, but then if you go to the next one, it's just really them. Yeah. And I love those ones, and it's so cool. And there's a girl that I follow, and she does it really well. Like she's a beautiful girl, but then when you see her, she's just in bed with her like, you know, she's great. She does it good, and that's cool because you're giving the best of both worlds, and I think that's really inspiring. Specifically for young girls, because like especially if you're 12 and you've just got your first phone, and you know, you're getting your Instagram and you want to start, and you're like, oh my god, I could be anybody right now. Who am I going to be? And then you start following people who kind of maybe look a little bit like you, or people that you enjoy, or their fashion taste or whatever, right? And then you start creating your like mini identity in a sense, and you these people you look up to for whatever reason. And I think it's cool because not only are you showing the best version of yourself, which you believe that is you, but you're showing, but this is me at the time. This is what I'm dealing with. And I think a lot of people don't like having that conversation, or they don't have the confidence enough to have that conversation. And you're allowing
those parts of you that aren't done up, like the done up things, you shouldn't be ashamed of. Like you should embrace it. You should be proud of them, but you should also embrace and be proud of like all the other types of you.
100%.
Like you're not just one person. Like you have so many layers, and each part is beautiful in their own right. 100%. So,
damn straight.
Social media is good like that.
That's the title. Social media is good like that. All right, guys. Well, moving forward, I think we've touched a lot of topics. I've learned so much more about you guys that I had no idea about, and I'm so excited because today is a very special day for you guys. We're not going to reveal too much, but I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for what the future does bring for you guys, and what you guys enjoy, your love, your passions, and what you love about Adelaide as well. So starting with you, Taylor, what would you like to leave the youths with today, or just anyone who lives, I guess, in Adelaide or wants to come here? What best advice would you give them for moving to this city?
For moving to the city?
Yeah, whether they're from the country or they're not from here. What's your advice to navigate Adelaide?
I think like Adelaide, like it obviously is building, it's growing as it goes. And I think that's something to consider. Like obviously like growing up in Adelaide, like, I didn't know too much about the city. Obviously, like, it wasn't really there much, but I sort of just thought of it as, there's where I live and there's the city. But there's so much more to it, like we've got the beaches and like everything like that. But I think it's just definitely like a nice place to definitely like grow up and like settle down and like, have a family, and you can achieve your goals with everything being so accessible to you, and it's important to have obviously your career goals, but also, you have your self-care time and your entertainment time. Like you need all of it in a good balance. And maintaining like those connections to people that you've grown up with, to people you meet now. I think everyone, like, along the way you meet so many different people, and everyone knows everyone. Like I find that with my makeup clients, and I'll connect dots to this person, or you used to see.
It's so awesome, isn't it? Like I love it.
It's crazy, and I don't realize like how many connections that I am building along the way, because you just come across so many different people, and I work with, I go to uni with, and then a makeup client who did makeup, I used to, speak to her, like, her
parents, mom, sisters, dog.
Literally, it just adds up and it all connects, and it's crazy to, keep going along that sort of path and see many opportunities. The opportunities that obviously come with it and the connections that come with it, I think make it all worth it.
Definitely, I like totally align with that, especially now, you know, COVID's out the window, things are rolling, people are back to work, all this positivity, and you know, with the space agency just opening up on North Terrace, from visiting the zoo, like we kind of have everything from science, technology, philosophy, history, like we have it all.
We literally do.
It's what you do with it.
It's what you do with it, and if you want to explore it, and having that will and motivation to do it. And for that, Geordie, any final words in terms of that kind of thing?
I think if you want to meet new people in Adelaide, just put yourself out there, join clubs. There's so many like clubs to join.
I'm joining the sail club.
If you want to do sports, like there's so many like sporting clubs to join. And everyone's really friendly. So.
And finally, first and last, Anna, do you have any final words on or anything you would like to add to the conversation? She always does this. She did this 3 times today.
Sorry.
This is so funny. You're that.
I'm like, I
thinking
have
so
so many things, and I'm like, what do I say?
What am I saying right now? Like, dude, that was me when I first started doing this stuff. Like, I couldn't even say my name. I've had many stories. Don't worry.
I guess. Yeah, I think everything we've said has really covered Adelaide. Like, it is a great city. I mean, like, there are extents where you do have to move out of here if you want to go further. But there is so much here, and it's a really good place to start your life. I feel. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And even so, like, it's like you're highlighting there, you can leave, you know, and Adelaide's a good place because you can always come back. And you know, whatever journey, whatever job, love, why you move, it's okay. And even so, like, Adelaide's at a tipping point where, like, a lot of people, because they haven't done certain things or they don't know about something, maybe, like, as close as Adelaide is to Adelaide people, it is also just as far sometimes, because there's so many things coming out right now. Like, there's heaps of different things.
It's just growing.
And because of that growth and that stability and that, you know, going from comfortable to uncomfortable, visiting new venues, meeting new people, I think, in a way, that might not be a thing anymore. Like, you know, most of the old time, like growing up, I used to meet a lot of models and they'd be like, I'm going to Sydney, I'm going to Melbourne. And from the modelling industry, you hear it a lot and you think, oh, you have to go there because that's where everyone is. No, it's all here. And it's here for you to create. And I think a lot of people forget that.
It hasn't been uncovered yet. So much of Adelaide.
Exactly. So, well, that's it, guys. I think we should wrap it up.
That's great.
That was an amazing chat. I'm so excited for today. For you guys, something special. And apart from that, you guys pretty much covered a lot of important factors, especially highlighting the lifestyle and kind of showing a sense of who you are, but also your faults. Like, you guys accept your imperfections. And that's awesome. And I think a lot of women and men should, I guess, learn how to do that or where to start and kind of move forward with that. So, well, thank you guys for chatting. I think we're kind of done.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.